Hi everybody, I hope you're staying healthy and safe while you're at home during this quarantine. Today I'm going to talk to you about a quick 5 core workout to make sure that you're staying nice and strong through the chest, back, core, and bum while you're at home. So you can add this routine into any of your exercises or throw it in on your day off just to get a nice quick workout in. So, first one we're going to start with is what's called a bird dog. Alright, we start in this nice tabletop position when your hands are stacked right on under those shoulders and your knees are stacked right under those hips, shoulder width apart. You want to make sure that you're focusing on that pelvic tilt, so keeping those hips tucked under, belly button to the back, nice and flat through that back. We don't want to add any arch in from that round back, making sure we're staying nice and flat. You're going to start with your alternating arms. Leading up over the shoulder, bring them right to shoulder height, back down, switching to the opposite side. This is where you have a little bit of range where you can kind of make your workout your own. Starting with reps of 10, you can work yourself way up to 12, 15, or maxing at 20. Nice controlled movements, keeping that tucked that whole time, leading up overhead. Once you're done those, we can lead to alternating legs. Taking one leg at a time, you're going to reach back into that nice good glute squeeze, stack back under the hips, and repeat on the other side. Back and forth, alternating. Make sure that you're not swiveling through the hips. You remain nice tight core up, reach back, and squeeze. Remember, you can keep your reps at 10, 12, 15, or maxing out at 20. Good. Now putting those two movements together, we're going to add the upper body in with that lower body, back in that tabletop position. Belly button to the back, pelvic tilt. You're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg. Taking that left arm, reaching up over your head, shoot back with that right leg. Return to start position. And repeat on that other side. Keep your rep count continuous the whole way through this workout, working through 10, 12, 15, or 20. Try not to rotate those hips. Squeeze from your glutes. A nice far reach overhead. Good. The next one you can add is what's called a fire hydrant. You're going to think the same exact way if you have a dog at home, how he would go pee on that fire hydrant. Stay in that tabletop position. You're going to lift from one knee up into a nice glute squeeze, back down. Stay on the same side, complete all reps, and then go ahead and switch to the other. Focus on that big squeeze right onto the outside of that hip. Try not to rotate the hips open. Good. Then you would repeat on that other side. Awesome. Now you're in this position, we're going to drop right down to the elbows. We're going to focus on a regular plank. We're going to take those elbows, make sure they're stacked right on over your shoulders. We don't want to be out too far and putting pressure on to that top of that shoulder. Clamp your hands together in whatever's comfortable position for you. Dig the toes into the ground. And then you're going to lift through and make sure that your body is nice and flat like a plank. You want to keep the head, back, and low spine all in a straight line. So while we're here, we're sinking through these shoulders. We're tucking that pelvic tilt under, squeezing through our glutes, not dropping our head too far. The goal for that is trying to hold for at least 30 seconds, however we need to get there. So whether that's 3 sets of 10, 2 sets of 15, make sure that you try to get to that full 30. Go ahead, rest, drop to the ground. You can repeat when you're ready. Dig the toes into the ground, lift the butt up, pelvic tilt under, drop through the shoulders, head out nice and straight. Perfect. Moving right along, rolling over onto our back. We're going to focus a little bit more target onto those low glutes. So laying nice and flat with that pelvic tilt under, making sure there's no space in that low back. Your feet are going to be stacked shoulder width apart, nice and even. Hands can rest in that palm up position. To give yourself a little bit more challenging into the regular glute bridge, we're now going to do it with one leg. So take that one leg, bring it up right over the hip, stacked right above, pushing through the heel of that opposite foot. Squeeze your glutes, roll that hip up into a nice bridge. Back down and relax. All right, stay on one side at all times. Make sure that you're tucked under each time. If your foot tends to get too close or too far from your butt, you might feel some cramping in that low thigh, so make sure your foot's in the perfect position. Hips up and down. When you've done your set of 10, 12, 15, or 20, go ahead and switch sides. Repeat on the other side with that pelvic tilt under, knee right over the hip, and lift through that leg. Perfect. 2 more here. We can stay in this seated position, coming up to that upright. You want to sit nice and tall. Think about someone pulling a string right through that spine, keeping you pulled from your hips, through your shoulder, through the crown of your head. All right, this one's going to be called a Russian twist. Some of us might be familiar with it. You can keep those feet to get started right on the ground as we're sitting nice and tall, heels in contact. You can slightly lean back until we feel that core engage, okay? All of us are going to be at different range of motions for this. Take your hands, keep those feet on the ground. You're going to fully rotate to one side and then the other. Give it a nice tap. Shoulders will go. Try and keep the hips from rotating. To make that a little bit harder, some of my Excel people can lift those feet up off the ground. Same exact motion. Good. Come to a seated position and rest. Remember your reps, 10, 12, 15, or 20 on both sides. The last one I'm going to teach you what's called a V-sit. To get started, I'm going to have you place your hands gently around your butt, just nice and light as you lean back. We are not pressing into the ground, full and strong. It's just there to guide us. Keeping the feet up on the ground, toes flexed. You're going to bring your chest to your knees and your knees to your chest, folding up. Lean back out, feet touch the ground, back together. Good. To advance that motion, simply we can lift those feet off the ground at all times. For one more step, we now can take our hands off the ground as well. If we need a simpler movement to help because we don't feel that we have that support on our butt, we can come down to the full forearm, keeping those feet in contact with the ground. Bring them in and out. Awesome job. I hope that helps and can give you a little bit of ideas of things you can do at home.